Did LeBron get snubbed in the MVP race is the question.
Marcellus, I'm so disappointed in you.
Why?
I'm in a great no.
Okay.
I'm in a great mood on this Friday, and you snuck a sentence into the scripts
You know,
that I didn't see earlier.
America doesn't know. What
He
you talking
snuck
about,
it in
Willis?
and he says, which is a regular season award. Yes, LeBron James got snubbed, but here's why LeBron got snubbed. On paper, the MVP for the NBA is, in fact, a regular season award. Now, that's not in the fine print, the description of the NBA MVP award, but because it's usually announced right after the regular season, we have now deemed it a regular season award. I get that.
You went
Fine,
there.
America.
Okay.
Fine.
That was
But here's
interesting.
what I don't understand, Marcellus.
Yes.
We as a nation figure out how to get to the moon in 1969.
We as a
However,
nation.
we can't figure out not to give this award until we've seen everyone play.
This is your take.
Marcellus, LeBron James got snubbed for several reasons. If you just have two eyeballs that work, two of them that work, I don't care, it don't even need to be 20/20 vision. You know who the NBA MVP was.
he won again.
No.
Yeah, he
the
won again.
most valuable
That guy.
player. But let me point out the flaw in not only your logic, Marcellus, but the flaw in the NBA's logic.
Wow. I haven't even said
We
anything
went
yet.
back. I can already sense it. I
didn't
have
even
my
say anything,
spidey
America.
senses. Think about this, Marcellus.
What?
We let the bubble games count as regular season games to affect playoff standing. We let the bubble games count to affect playoff
Fact.
standing.
Fact.
But you voted on the MVP before the bubble. That doesn't make sense, America. That doesn't make sense, Adam Silver. That doesn't make sense, NBA. How can the bubble games count to seed for the playoffs, but the bubble games don't count for the MVP award, Marcellus? It does not add up. 2 and 2 are making 6.5. And I'm a mathematician, and that doesn't add up. So, yes, LeBron James did, in fact, get snubbed because LeBron James told us a while ago, and we didn't listen to him, so that's our fault. He said, remember when I was cruising to the East, cruising through the East, y'all was knocking me saying, oh, LeBron's just playing in the East. But now Giannis is cruising through the East, and Giannis doesn't get the same knock. Think about this, bro. How in God's name is the MVP he's not even capable of getting out of the semis in the East.
Wow.
Giannis can't get out of the semis in the East. But the last thing I'm going to say before I let you start spewing out some nonsense, which I anticipate to come, is this. Giannis's team got gentlemen swept. They only won one game.
That is nice.
Against the Heat.
Way to be a gentleman.
But the only game they won without Giannis. That's the only one they won. They won without Giannis. How you gonna win the only game in the semis without the MVP? You notice I didn't even need my notes for this argument.
It sounds like you should.
Because
Look at your notes.
This is an argument, Marcellus, that you don't even need to derive statistical information from. You just need to derive common sense, which I have, but it is uncommon.
Oh, Acho. That was Hot Take Central, and I didn't think I was going to get a co-host coming from the factory over
Factory
there
of common sense.
that came in here with a hot take, that woke up this morning and was more focused on your wardrobe and your look than your actual notes that you didn't even read. Here's the thing. You're going to try and redefine what the award is because you're saying it's not properly defined. Because look when they give it out. How dare you give it out at this time and not consider all things? We know that this is a regular season award. But you wanted to go there and remix the award and say, oh, how come the bubble games count towards the playoffs, but they don't count towards the MVP?
It didn't make sense.
If they did count regular season bubble games towards the MVP, that hurts LeBron's chances of winning the MVP. You remember how bad he looked coming in?
Get to your point.
Get to your point. All right, I just had to beat you up before I even get to my point. You remember Dirk? Remember Westbrook when they didn't get out the first round? And they were MVPs that year. I didn't hear Acho with his hot take then. But I digress. Let me answer the question. Did LeBron James get snubbed? Hell no, he didn't get snubbed. And it's amazing. Every time I hear this argument, I always hear the AARP age birth certificate conversation.
I haven't brought that up.
And you know what?
I haven't brought that up, America.
And then when they don't go there, guess where they go?
Where they go?
They go to this. Well, if you use your eyeballs, and you know what? I do use my eyeballs. I use my eyeballs to look at stats because men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie.
Numbers do lie.
This is the full screen king turn to show you what back-to-back looks like. Take notes, Drake. Back-to-back. Giannis MVP seasons. Look at him. He improves in terms of win percentage. He improves in points per game. Oh, my God, his three-point percentage goes up. Wow, his rebounds and assists goes up. And listen, why I bring this up?
Why, sir?
Why I bring this up? Because if you are on a team, let's use your eye test. I could beat you with your own logic. If you're using your eye test, LeBron last year, you're going to say he got hurt, and they didn't make the playoffs. LeBron this year adds AD, and they make the playoffs to the #1 seed. This guy, if you talk about Giannis, doesn't have an AD, improves his numbers, improves his team's win percentage, and does more with less than LeBron. So even in the eye test, Giannis is the back-to-back MVP.
America. Yesterday, Marcellus started snitching, so it's time to snitch. I don't know how much my one shot can zoom in. But see, before Marcellus gives y'all the full screen as a full screen king, we get these printouts of the full screen as well. And in the printout, Marcellus has so nicely scratched out the statistics that don't work for Giannis. You see,
I can't see that.
Marcellus
What you talking about, Willie?
Marcellus, see, I don't even know if y'all can zoom in on this one.
Don't you
but if you
dare
can,
zoom
please do. What Marcellus has tried to do here is scratch out so beautifully the field goal percentage.
I knew you were going to go
That is
there.
what Marcellus, take me in. Bring me in nice and
What the
close.
hell? It's his field goal percentage against
Marcellus has
himself.
tried to scratch out the statistics
Boy, you
that
are-
don't do Marcellus
you are
justice. It just shows the liar that you are, Marcellus. Yes, statistically, Giannis did improve from one year to the next year. But this isn't an award.
Wins and losses.
This isn't an award of
Regular
who
season.
was better than their former self. This isn't the
former self is an MVP. Yes, it is.
Who was better than their former
Was LeBron
self
better
award.
this year?
LeBron
He just finished
Let's
this
talk,
year
I'm
and
glad
got
you went
AD
there.
help.
I'm glad you went there.
AD is the MVP of the Lakers. How in the hell LeBron the MVP of the league?
Are you done, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you done?
I was getting a little amped.
LeBron got hurt last year, and what happened to the Lakers?
That's what happened to old people.
What happened to the Lakers? He
what
got
happened to old
hurt,
people.
and they didn't make the playoffs. He plays this year, and they're the 1 seed. He plays this year.
With who?
He plays. He plays this year, and they're the 1 seed, about to in the Western Conference Finals, about to go to the NBA Finals. If that doesn't scream MVP to you, I'm not here. My team isn't a playoff team. I am here. My team is the best team in the NBA. But more than that, let's just talk real. You're an intelligent human being, so
Yes.
I don't know why you're acting as if you're not, Marcellus. Think
acting.
about this.
It's going to be acting.
When did we find out who won the award?
This morning.
This morning. If you would have
Brushing my
just simply voted on the award at this point in time, the Lakers have a better win percentage than the Bucks. The Lakers are the better team than the Bucks.
You're trying to say when we find out is when they've just started to vote?
What I'm saying
The
is,
hell?
how are we, the criteria for this award makes no
Well,
sense.
then won't you
It is illogical.
Won't you sign a petition to change the criteria? Because while the criteria is this, Giannis is the back-to-back MVP. But you know what? Sometimes you can be too close to somebody and you don't understand it. I got to go to somebody to break this tie. I got to go to Slick Rick, the Bucher, our
What's up,
Fox
Slick?
NBA analyst. He's too far in the forest to see the trees. Help us out. Did LeBron get snubbed in the MVP race?
Yes, 1,000% yes. And they're not going to change the criteria because of what we're doing right now, which is debating the hell out of this. The NBA isn't going to define what MVP is because we have all of these conversations. You know what I love about doing this show with you guys?
What?
Is the fact that I'm doing it with two well-spoken, intelligent, former athletes who have played sport at an extremely high level, and they understand that it's not always about the numbers. And what am I hearing? And a debate between you two guys all about freaking numbers.
Numbers.
Come on now.
Numbers.
The fact of the matter is, I don't go with the idea, Acho, that those 8 bubble games should have counted towards
Thank
the
you.
MVP
Thank
voting. It's 8 games. That's still a small percentage.
Chill out.
But what the bubble does tell us is that LeBron James was indeed snubbed
Thank you.
because we got the opportunity to see the Milwaukee Bucks
Yes, sir.
operate
Yes, sir.
without Giannis Antetokounmpo against the very best.
You nailed it.
And did they function well? Yes. We underestimated the voters who didn't have LeBron at the top of their ballot, like I did, underestimated exactly what Giannis meant to that team and what he had around them because of the numbers that Marcellus has put out about the regular season. Let me put it in terms that you guys can appreciate.
Thank you.
Here we
I
go.
want
We'll go
to
to-
appreciate.
We'll go to last night's game between the Browns and the Bengals. Baker Mayfield had the higher QBR. He had the higher passer rating. he won the game. But if you look at those two guys, who was the most valuable quarterback in terms of what their team did last night?
He didn't even have to go to Columbia.
That, to me, is the eye test. You know the guy who affects his team the most, and for me, that is most valuable player. You take away LeBron James, I don't care what the numbers say.
Thank you.
You take LeBron James away from the Los Angeles Lakers, maybe they're a playoff team, but they're not much more than that, and they're certainly not playing for a title right now.
About it.
We saw what the Milwaukee Bucks are without Giannis Antetokounmpo. Still a very formidable team.
Man, that story time just bored me. Y'all just threw numbers out the window just so you can have a story time. So all I got from that, Slick Rick, is Baker Mayfield should win the NBA MVP, I guess. I don't know what the hell you were talking about. Help him out, Acho. That didn't make no sense.
Slick, I totally understood what you were saying. Here's what people do. Here's what people do. Marcellus, he takes a lazy approach, right? When he doesn't necessarily have time to watch the games because he has other priorities, he has kids, he has a wife, etc. He just goes and looks at numbers. Okay, let me crunch these. I did go to Columbia. I was a salutatorian or a valedictorian, so I am relatively smart. Let me crunch my numbers with my TI-85 plus calculator. Giannis should win. Marcellus, you an athlete, bro. Now, I'm not going to put you in a box. I'm not going to make you the dumb jock that the world tried to make you, but I'm going to make you both. I'm going to make you both an intelligent human being and an athlete. But the intelligent human being plus the athlete should have the ability for you to decipher the fact that LeBron is clearly the MVP. Marcellus, what's that middle word? What's that V stand for?
That V in my name?
No, an MVP.
Oh, it's Vernon for me.
No, an MVP, Marcellus.
Valuable.
It stands for valuable. Value. When is value determined? In the playoffs. That is when this value is determined. Marcellus, you're taking a lazy approach, and you, of all people, you go against the grain. I said you were an outlier. You said I'm not an outlier. You said I'm hard work. I'm dedication. You go against the grain. You, of all people on this planet, Marcellus, should understand Giannis for MVP is the lazy take. LeBron did, in fact, get snubbed. It's simple.
Here we go. You just took me back to class, but I'm the teacher. Sit down, students. You want to give me a conversation about value, and I want to give you a conversation about price. So let's do this. Let's have both conversations. Price is what you pay for. So, if you're really in an open market, free market, you have something of price, you want to get the most for it, right? Giannis has the most in terms of numbers. He has the higher price. But then you want to say, no, let's talk about value, which is really a conversation of what did you pay for it based on what was the relative resources around it? Oh, so was this overvalued, undervalued? Oh, you want to get into a value conversation, you lose again. Giannis was not playing with the same level of talent that LeBron James was. Chris Middleton is not Anthony Davis. Not a single soul in this world has said that Chris Middleton is a top 5 player. But everybody walking this planet knows that Anthony Davis is a top 5 player. So even in a value conversation, when you're related to the resources around you, you lose that conversation, price and value. But let me get to my points since I got to defeat Charles first all the time.
I'm bored. What's your point?
I told you a long time ago I like math over English because math has no feelings. It's just numbers. And you didn't like my numbers before, and you try to poo-poo on them. Like that's all I brought. I got 2 back pockets, brother. Here's some more numbers for you in case you don't like this. Giannis is a guy who went out there and lost only 9 games when he was on the court in the regular season, as the award dictates. 48-9 at the time of voting, didn't lose 2 games in a row on the Milwaukee Bucks. Best player on the best team by the numbers, and he improves on his performance with less around him. That's why this guy is the most valuable.
The Bucks aren't the best team.
Malcolm Brogdon wasn't there this year, and he made up for that difference. LeBron added the top 5 player in the world.
I'm getting dumber.
And you trying to act like that doesn't have an impact.
The longer I sit at this desk, Slick Rick, I'm getting dumber. My IQ has dropped 10 points.
He doesn't win in numbers. He doesn't win in value. Where does he win?
Marcellus.
Yes, sir.
You went to the other back pocket, and you pulled out more numbers. I thought that was a different back pocket.
That's all I got.
You just keep going numbers and numbers. Here's the funniest part about this, and it's why I don't begrudge LeBron or feel bad for LeBron and the fact that he did not win MVP. And it's because he benefited from this exact same thing in 2010. That was the summer of LeBron. He had numbers better or as good as the numbers he had the previous year. So how could he not be MVP again? Much like Giannis Antetokounmpo. And what happened that year? The Cavs got knocked out in the second round. And meanwhile, Kobe Bryant, who should have been the real winner, ends up taking the Lakers to a title in spite of the fact that Pau Gasol and a number of other Lakers were hurt. Andrew Bynum hurt through the majority of the year. So we didn't understand exactly what Kobe Bryant was doing unless you watched the games and understood all of the plays that Kobe made to carry that team through tough times. Giannis Antetokounmpo breezed through the regular season. Yes, they didn't have Malcolm Brogdon. How often do teams get to prepare for the Bucks on a nightly basis saying, we're going to take advantage of the fact that they don't have Malcolm Brogdon? Doesn't happen during the regular season. As soon as they got to the postseason, you got to find out exactly how important Malcolm Brogdon was to the Bucks and how less valuable Giannis Antetokounmpo was. So LeBron didn't get it. He deserved it.
He did.
But you know what? We've seen this before because there are too many voters who lean back on the statistics.
Like Marcellus.
They don't want to be caught out. They don't want to use the real eye test, which both of you know that eye test. You saw it last night in terms of who the better quarterback is, the more valuable quarterback is. I don't care what the numbers say. You understand that, which is why I don't get the argument for Giannis in this situation.
You know what's so crazy?
What's crazy?
You guys don't want to stay in the field of play to make your argument. You're telling me about the running back that runs out of bounds and all of a sudden on the sideline start doing all this stuff. And then you're like, yo, look at what he's doing on the sidelines. When you're Giannis versus LeBron in the MVP discussion, it has to happen in the regular season. I don't give a damn. I'm sorry, LeBron. You guys are trying to undermine Giannis's value without using numbers. But look, anytime you want to show any transaction of value, if I walked into your house right now, Slick Rick, and I saw all those balls up there, and I was like, oh, they look valuable, you would have a number in your head, and I would have a number to transact with you. You cannot dismiss numbers in a conversation just to seduce me with some sorry sack stories about value. Let's move on.